Hey guys, it's me, Carrie. It felt like a good idea to shoot a video outdoors, but it's actually kind of chilly and breezier than I thought, so you're gonna hear a lot of wind chimes in the background and see my hair blowing a bit. But I just felt like it's been a long time since I've actually sat and recorded a chatty video with you, and there's something that's been on my mind a lot lately. It's been probably pretty much a lifelong issue of mine, but it's something I've become more aware of lately in like the past 7, 8 years. It's the fact that I am extremely intense and that I feel things extraordinarily deeply. Now, that doesn't necessarily make me all that unique. I think part of the component that contributes to that is the fact that I do suffer from multiple mental illnesses. If this is your first time watching me or the first time watching a chatty video, you may not know, but I've suffered from lifelong pervasive depressive disorder as well as anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, I guess they would call it to be technical. And ever since I was a little girl, I mean, I saw my first therapist when I was 7 years old, and I came from an intact family, married parents, nothing traumatic, thank goodness. So it's unusual. It was very unusual in 1980 to take a child for therapy unless there were parents going through a divorce, there was some sort of abuse. It just wasn't all that common. It's, a bit more common these days, and sorry, I live right by the train station, so that's really noisy too. But it was pretty atypical to take a child to therapy, and I have been going on and off again since that age. I'm now 46. I'll be 47 in May. Today is February 27th. So in a couple of months, I will be 47. So it will literally be 40 years roughly. I mean, I'm guessing I was seven-ish. Oh, it's getting cold. But I'm aware that I feel things incredibly deeply. I think I am a bit of an empath. I definitely pick up on a lot of other people's emotions. I mean, not in any sort of a psychic way or anything like that, but I think I'm a bit more observant than the average bear when it comes to how other people are feeling and what type of emotional stuff they're going through. And when I love deeply. I love super deeply. That's where the intensity comes in. I love with my whole heart. I am 110% committed to you unless you give me reason not to be, and you'd have to really, really brutally screw me over because I put up with a lot more shit than I probably should from a lot more people than I probably should. Not so much presently, but in the past I have. But it's been brought to my attention by both my husband and my therapist that sometimes that intensity and the depth of my love and my passion and compassion for people can be a little bit intimidating and make some people uncomfortable. And that, of course, is certainly never, never, never my intention. I get disappointed a lot because most people don't feel that way and don't have that depth of intense love, or if they do, they don't show it the way that I do or the way that I maybe want them to, and I end up getting disappointed a lot. And it's nobody's fault. It's not even my own fault. It's not a wrong way to feel. It's just sometimes I expect too much from people. I certainly expect too much from myself. But for example, I've had a couple friends point out to me lately, not me specifically, just in general on Facebook posts or whatever, that they're not the type to initiate contact. They're just simply not. If I want to talk to them or if someone wants to talk to them, they can certainly reach out and that person will be receptive to that and, certainly give them some time and love and dedication and whatever, but they're not the ones to initiate that type of contact. And it's not that they don't love me, I'm going to use me, but, it's not directed specifically at me. It's not that they don't love me, it's not that they don't care about me or they've forgotten I exist, which is one of my biggest fears in life. I feel like sometimes if I don't poke to remind people I'm there, that they're going to forget about me because I don't love and value myself that much. So I figure, how could anybody else love and value me that much? But if I remind them, hey, I'm here and I love you and I want to help you and I want to support you and I'm always around, I feel like somehow that just makes them remember me more. And then I realize that can backfire, and it has backfired with some friendships, and I've lost some friendships partly because of that, because of my intensity, because of the depth, like I said, of my passion and my love and my compassion and my need to be needed. I think that's it. I think I really need to be needed. I need to feel important. And people shouldn't have to vocalize that. They shouldn't have to constantly remind me that I'm loved and that I'm valued and that I'm important to them. But I crave it. I desperately crave it all the time. And that's something I'm working on, like I said, in therapy and just on my own. I think I'm going to do a lot more writing to try to express it that way rather than being so outwardly needy, because the neediness is not an attractive quality. I don't want to be that person that someone feels like, oh God, it's like the little fly buzzing in my ear, and what do I do to get rid of her? Do I ignore her? Do I just, respond in the quickest way possible to get her off my back? Do I just tell her point blank, you've got to give me some space? So I try to make that known to people, that if they need that space, that if I am too intense and I'm too much, please let me know. And it'll be hard for me to deal with, and it might break me a little, but better that I know than that I fuck up a relationship that really matters to me because of the way that I am. And who knows, sometimes people may feel things as deeply, as intensely as I do, but they just are not as outwardly expressive about it. And that's important to know too. That's why, like, on the rare occasions that I do come right out and say things like this, it's good to get a response just to say, I feel you. I love you. I care about you. This is not a one-sided relationship or friendship or what have you. It's definitely, I'm as in it as you are. I just may not speak it as often or as loudly as you do, or I just may not show it in gestures as often and as, obviously as you do, but I feel the same way. And it's hard because so many of the people that I love the most and am closest to are not physically around. They live other places. Our primary form of contact is typically social media or texting. There are a handful of people who I talk on the phone with. And if you're not one of those people, do not be offended. It's not personal. It's just me and my anxiety. But yeah, I just been giving it so much thought, and I don't want to blow it. I don't want to fuck things up. I don't want to lose people that mean the world to me because I, for lack of a better expression, come on too strong. Like, in some ways I equate it to, like, terms that would be more relevant to a romantic relationship. Like, I feel like I need to play hard to get, maybe I need to restrain myself a little bit and let, people come to me, but I'm not a game player. I'm completely a genuine person. So I'm not about, like, trying to, like, manipulate outcomes or whatever. But sometimes I guess I am too much, and maybe I need to just say, okay, take a breath. This person knows that you love them. This person knows that you're there for them. When they need you, they will come to you. You don't have to constantly poke and remind them. But I want to be poked and reminded. So that's the thing. Like, if I don't hear from somebody for a long time, or even for a short time, if it's someone that I care about deeply, immediately I go, oh fuck, what the hell did I do wrong? They don't love me anymore. I fucked something up. They're angry. I did something to piss them off or, make them feel uncomfortable or whatever. It instantly becomes, I did something wrong and they don't love me anymore. And I don't know if part of that comes from the fact that I've lost so many people in my life, like to death, like family members and stuff. that I feel like, I mean, those are people that left, not of their own volition, but I'm in constant fear of being left. And with the exception of my mother and my husband, who I know love me unconditionally no matter what and aren't going anywhere, I feel like with everybody else, it's so easy to walk away. I'm so disposable. I'm so not of that great an importance. And again, a lot of that just comes down to my feelings about myself. I shouldn't have to have somebody tell me they love me constantly, but I want them to. I want everybody to just tell me they love me all the time because if I don't hear it all the time, I forget or I start to question. That's, like I said, neediness is not an attractive quality, but it's one I possess in spades, unfortunately. That's part of being so emotional and vulnerable and susceptible to, I don't want to say self-harm because I don't commit physical self-harm, but I commit emotional self-harm like constantly. Like I am my own worst enemy. I beat myself up mercilessly. I micro, like I put all of my actions and behaviors and thoughts and feelings under a microscope, and 99% of the time I judge myself as doing things incorrectly or doing things, not the way that people would want me to. And I cause a lot of my own psychic harm and mental damage and emotional heartbreak. It's really no one's fault but my own because I'm so damn hard on myself. So I know this is kind of rambling all over the place, but I know other people must be out there that feel this way. And people that don't, maybe you'll understand that there is another side to people, that there are people out there who will take your silence as rejection, even if that's absolutely not your intention. And I'm certainly not suggesting that you change your behavior in any way, shape, or form. You do you. You behave the way that you feel comfortable. If you are more reserved in your emotions, if you are less expressive, if you are more insular, if you're the type of person who, when you're going through a depression or a difficult period of time, needs to be left alone and needs your space, by all means tell me that, because the last thing I want to do is hover and be too much when that's not what you need. But I want like constant love. I want constant reassurance. I want constant physical contact. I want to be held. I want to be hugged. I want to be, that's why I have my little floofs on my handbags all the time, those little fluffy things to touch. I'm very tactile. I need to touch soft things. I need to self-soothe. I keep doing that, but I have food in my teeth. But yeah, I need to be reminded probably a lot more than most people that I'm valued and that I matter. So if I do matter to you, just know that I crave that like constantly, and it's not healthy, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to learn to do a little bit more self-soothing and a little bit more, like I said, even if it's just expressing myself through my writing or through collage or whatever, the few creative endeavors that I'm somewhat decent at. I have to focus on that a little bit more, and maybe not being so overly demonstrative in my need for love. And it's not about needing attention. I'm not an attention seeker at all. I'm a love seeker. I know, like I said, I know that my husband's love for me is unconditional. I know that my mother's love for me is unconditional. But beyond that, I constantly question, and that's not any of your faults. If you're watching this, that's nobody's fault but my own. That's just due to my fucked up brain and my overly sensitive heart. But I felt like this was just something I wanted to share with you guys. I don't know if it's going to offer you some insight into me or possibly other people that are important to you in your life. You might want to check in every now and then if you suspect that someone is like me and very, very much craves that constant reassurance. I mean, literally, someone can tell me they love me like crazy, and an hour later, I can be questioning it again. And it's not that person's responsibility to constantly remind me, but just know that it's something that I do crave, that I do desperately want in my life, like all the time. Like I just feel like there can just never be enough love in my life. And because I feel it so deeply for others, I want others to feel it as deeply for me. And some people may not be capable of that, and for whatever reason, and that's okay. It's just, I don't know. I'm going in circles. I'm going on too long. I should cut this short, but I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about this because maybe, it's something, like I said, that you feel as well, and something that you struggle with. And I keep trying to push my face forward because I keep seeing my fucking double chin along with my scar, and it's just like making me want to throw up. But I just wanted to put it out there for what it's worth, for whoever feels like watching this. And you don't have to comment. You don't have to say anything, really. Just, I appreciate that you're listening. I appreciate that you cared enough to push play and, hopefully make it through this whole video and pick up that insight about me. I may not always be completely vocal about it here on the channel or even in my daily life, but my heart is like, there are a trusted few people that I will literally rip my heart out and place it in their hands and know that they have the absolute ability to completely crush and decimate it. But I love and trust them so much that I do it. And it's scary as hell. And I know I'm making myself extremely vulnerable by doing that, but I think I got the food piece. But I can't help it. It's like, I don't want to feel like I'm testing people ever, or making them prove anything to me. I just have to learn to trust that I'm important to people. I need to learn to trust that I am loved, that I am valued. And I guess a lot of that is going to just have to come from inside myself. And that's, I'm the hardest person to convince that I'm worth anything. So I have a lot of work to do. But anyway, I'm going to end this now. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. It means the world, especially with videos like this. I mean, they're not always the easiest to watch. And they may cause you to do a little self-examination, but I hope that somehow benefits your life in some way. And if nothing else, gives you insight into me and gives you insight into possibly other people in your life that you love and care about. So, yeah, shutting up now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you so much. And when I say that, I mean it. I'll be back soon with more stuff. Bye.